I'm here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Meiraj Atif and I am the level 1 student at Rehan School Islamabad campus. So viewers, as you know, I will come with the new CoPilot and the new coding task. So today I will come with the new CoPilot session. So topic is discussing global economics. So CoPilot, are you ready? Okay. So my first question is, what is globalization and how it's impact global economics growth over the past few decades? Can you hear me? Okay, Copilot, my first question is, what is globalization and how it's impacted global economic growth over the past few decades?
ग्लोबलाइजेशन यानी विश्वापीकरण एक ऐसी प्रक्रिया है जिसमें
Copilot,
विश्व
please
की
speak in English. Just continue your answer, but in English.
globalization is the process where economies, cultures, and populations around the world become interconnected. Over the past few decades, it significantly
Yes, Copilot, continue your answer. Can you hear me? Okay, so Copilot, my next question is, how to international trade agreements influence the economics of developing countries?
All right. International trade agreements can help developing countries by boosting exports, increasing foreign investment, and fostering economic growth. These agreements usually involve reducing tariffs and trade barriers, which can make it easier for these countries to access global markets. Got specific questions about the impact on certain countries?
Yes. Okay, in what ways does the World Trade Organization facilitate international economic cooperation?
The World Trade Organization fosters international economic cooperation by providing a framework for negotiating trade agreements, settling disputes, and promoting trade liberalization. By encouraging transparent and fair trading practices, it boosts global economic integration and growth. This cooperation helps developing countries benefit from trade and integrate into the global economy. There's a lot more to it, so feel free to ask.
Okay, how does inflation in major economics affect the global economy, particularly in poor nations?
When inflation hits major economies, it can cause ripple effects worldwide, making imports more expensive for poorer nations. This can lead to higher costs of living and reduced purchasing power. It can also trigger capital flight, affecting investment and growth. So it's a big deal for global economic stability, especially for developing countries. Got more
Okay.
questions on that?
Yes, I have 55 questions. Okay, why do some economists argue for protectionism while other advocate for trade in global markets?
Economists who support protectionism argue that it shields domestic industries and jobs from foreign competition, preserving economic stability. They believe it prevents dependence on other countries. On the flip side, free market advocates argue that open trade leads to more competition, innovation, and efficiency, benefiting consumers with lower prices. They stress the importance.
Okay, Copilot, my next question is, what role do multinational corporations play in shaping the global economic landscape?
Multinational corporations do play a pivotal role in the global economy. Their ability to operate across borders boosts trade, creates jobs, and can drive innovation. Yet, they face scrutiny over issues like tax avoidance and labor practices. What aspects of their influence interest you?
Okay, how has digitalization and the tech industry changed global economic dynamics?
Digitization and the tech industry have revolutionized global economics. They've accelerated information flow, driven e-commerce, and created new markets and job sectors. Economies now compete globally for tech leadership, and digital platforms have empowered small players to access global markets. It's reshaped everything, from how we work to how we trade. What
Okay,
aspect in
how do central banks like the Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank influence the global economy?
Central banks like the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank wield huge influence. They set interest rates, control money supply, and regulate financial institutions. Their policies can stimulate or cool down economies, impacting global trade, investment, and currency values. Their decisions are closely watched by markets worldwide. Anything you want to dig deeper into?
No. Okay, my next question is how does debt in developing countries affect global financial stability?
Debt in developing countries can pose risks to global financial stability. When countries struggle to repay debt, it can lead to defaults, affecting global trade and financial markets. Low-income countries may face challenges like currency devaluation and inflation, which can have ripple effects. It's a complex issue with global implications.
Okay, what is the impact of currency exchange rates on international trade and investment?
Currency exchange rates impact international trade and investment significantly. A stronger currency makes exports costlier and imports cheaper, while a weaker currency has the opposite effect. This influences trade balances and competitiveness. For investors, exchange rates can affect the value of foreign investments, influencing returns and decisions. It's a crucial factor in the global economic equation.
Okay, what are the cause of consequence of global economic inequality?
Global economic inequality stems from varied factors like historical exploitation, unequal access to education, technology, and resources, and differing economic policies. Consequences include social unrest, health disparities, and slower economic growth. It's a pressing issue with both moral and practical implications for the global community. Intrigued by any particular aspect?
Okay, good answer. Okay, how do economic sentience affect both target and imposing countries?
Economic sanctions can create a tricky loop. For the target country, sanctions can cripple trade, cause job losses, and disrupt daily life. For the imposing country, there's often a financial hit as well, especially if they rely on the target for resources or markets. Plus, sanctions can strain diplomatic relations, making it hard to find common ground. It's a complex dance with no easy moves.
Okay, what is the importance of economic diversification for resources dependent countries?
It's huge. Over-reliance on one resource can tank an economy if demand or price drops. Diversification spreads risk, boosts stability, and fuels sustainable growth. It's like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Okay, how does climate change influence global economic planning and investment?
Climate change is a game changer for the global economy. It disrupts industries like agriculture and insurance and shifts investments towards sustainable tech. Extreme weather events can cost billions, and transitioning to greener practices demands serious investment. Ignore it, and economies face greater costs down the line. Let's talk about this.
Okay. What is the economic significance of the BRICS nations in today's global economy?
The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are economic powerhouses. They account for a significant chunk of global GDP, influence commodities markets, and drive investment flows. They're not just emerging markets anymore, they're key players shaping the future of the global economy. Thoughts on how this impacts world trade?
Okay, how does foreign direct investment contribute to economic development?
FDI brings in capital, technology, and expertise, creating jobs and boosting productivity. It can lead to infrastructure development and improved competitiveness. Plus, it often results in knowledge transfer and skill development, which can drive long-term growth. What's your
Okay.
take?
How does okay, why do countries engage in currency wars and what are the global effects?
Countries engage in currency wars to make their exports cheaper, boosting their economy. But globally, it can lead to trade tensions, market volatility, and retaliation. It's a risky game with no guaranteed winners and can hurt global economic stability. Let's dive into it.
Okay, what are the pros and cons of a global minimum uh, co- corporate tax?
A global minimum corporate tax could level the playing field, reducing tax havens and ensuring fairer competition. It could also generate revenue for governments, but it might limit national tax policies and could lead to disagreements between countries. It's a complex issue with a lot of moving parts. Your thoughts?
Okay, how does the global supply chain work and what are in vulnerabilities?
Global supply chains involve production and distribution countries, leveraging comparative advantages. Vulnerabilities include disruptions like natural disasters, political instability, or pandemics. Dependency on specific regions or suppliers can lead to bottlenecks. It's a delicate balance of efficiency and resilience. How do you see it?
Okay, so my next question is how do oil prices affect the global economy?
Big time. Oil prices influence inflation, production costs, and transport. High prices can slow growth, while low prices can spur it. It's a balancing act. Thoughts on the impact?
Yes, okay, what role does the International Monetary Fund IMF play in stabilizing economies?
The IMF offers financial aid and policy advice to stabilize economies in crisis, promoting global monetary cooperation and financial stability. Their support can help countries navigate economic turbulence. Thoughts on their role?
Okay, how does trade imbalance between major economies impact global relations?
Trade imbalances can lead to tensions, often resulting in tariffs or trade wars. This can affect global cooperation, creating a ripple effect on international relations and economic stability. What's your take on this?
Okay, what are the implications of economic nationalism on globalization?
Economic nationalism, such as protectionist policies, can challenge globalization by limiting free trade, altering supply chains, and increasing economic isolation. It can lead to reduced interdependence among nations. Thoughts on this impact?
Okay, how do global recession typically spread from one region to another?
Global recessions often spread through trade links, financial markets, and investor confidence. When one region's economy contracts, it can reduce demand for imports, affect global supply chains, and cause financial contagion. Thoughts on this?
Okay, how does economic migration affect both the host and origin countries?
Economic migration boosts labor forces in host countries, often filling skill gaps, but may strain public services. Origin countries can face brain drain, but benefit from remittances. It's a complex trade-off. What do you think about it?
Okay, what is the economic cost of war and conflict on the global? Okay, how do emerging markets influence global financial trades?
Emerging markets can drive growth and offer investment opportunities, but they also bring volatility. Their influence on global finance is growing, affecting trade, investment flows, and market sentiment. What's your take on their impact?
Okay, you give a great answer. Okay, why is financial literacy important in a globalized economy?
Financial literacy empowers people to make informed decisions, navigate economic challenges, and contribute to a stable economy. It's crucial in our globalized world, where financial systems are interconnected. What's your view on its importance?
Okay, how does tourism contribute to global economic health?
Tourism boosts global economic health by generating revenue, creating jobs, and fostering cultural exchange. It stimulates investment in infrastructure and supports local economies. Thoughts on the impact of tourism?
Okay, what role do remittances play in the economics of developing countries?
Remittances are vital for developing countries, providing a key source of income, boosting household spending, and supporting economic development. They can help reduce poverty and improve living standards. Thoughts on their impact?
Okay, okay, co-pilot. Well, my
आप क्या
next
कहना
question is to you. How does education and skill development help our country economy?
पढ़ाई और हुनर को बढ़ाने से
Please
मुल्क
speak in
की
English.
education and skill building boosts the economy by creating a skilled workforce, leading to better jobs, increased productivity, and innovation. It attracts investments, reduces unemployment, and promotes sustainable economic growth.
Okay, why do countries sometimes put tariffs taxes on goods from other countries?
Countries impose tariffs or taxes on imports to protect domestic industries from foreign competition, to generate revenue, and to influence trade policies. It's a way to balance trade relationships and protect jobs, but it can also lead to trade disputes and higher prices for consumers.
Okay, what is economic growth and what are the signs that a country economy is growing?
Economic growth is an increase in the production of goods and services over time. Signs of a growing economy include rising GDP, higher employment rates, increased consumer spending, and business investments. It also shows an improved infrastructure and technological advancements.
Okay, how does education and skill development help our country economy?
Education and skill building boost the economy by creating a more competent workforce. They lead to higher productivity, foster innovation, and attract investment. A skilled populace is crucial for economic competitiveness and sustainability.
Okay, what are multinational companies?
Multinational companies are businesses that operate in multiple countries, managing production or delivering services beyond their home country's borders.
Okay,
They benefit.
what happened during an economic crisis?
In an economic crisis, there's a significant downturn in economic activity. It leads to reduced consumer spending, business closures, rising unemployment, and financial instability. Governments typically respond with stimulus measures like bailouts or interest rate cuts to stabilize the economy.
Okay, what is unemployment?
Unemployment is when people who are willing and able to work can't find jobs. Unemployment is when people who are able and willing to work can't find jobs. It's a key economic indicator, and high rates can signal economic distress.